Hey, once again, it's your boy Mac 357. This is the Evening Experience Radio Show from 5 to 7 every Thursday. It goes down, but it's 7 to 9. Listen, we doing what we do. Shy Diva, what's up? Uh, BLK Diva 007, what's up? Jerry Ponte, what's up? For all the people that are tuning in, right now we're getting ready to talk to the one and only Darrin D. Henson, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend. We definitely gonna be getting it popping with him. Shout out to everybody that's returning. We are here. We are lit. We are live. We just had the one and only Kevin Ross on. We had Alec Willpower on, and we definitely gonna be getting it popping with Darrin. I'm gonna see if he's in yet. Okay, I don't see him as of yet. I don't see him just yet. Oh, there he is. Mr. Darrin D. Henson. Hey,
What's going on, my brother?
what's going on? What's
How are
popping?
you?
How you doing?
All is well.
Peace and blessings. Um, what y'all don't understand is this man never ages. So I'm gonna need to find out what the hell he's using because this brother is getting older by the minute. This brother just had a 20-year anniversary for the show Soul Food. Big shouts out to you for that.
No doubt.
Being a part of something that will be in the minds and hearts of so many people for many years to come that are still watching it and thinking that you still look like that person, but you still look like that person. I'm the one that's aging. That's it. That's it.
I give thanks to the Most High. I don't know what the secret is, but I'll receive it. You
All
know.
right. Oh, Um, how does it feel to be a part of such a legacy, such a show that literally touched so many people on so many levels? Because y'all showed it from so many sides of, of people growing together as a family, trying to stay together as a family, but at the same time, all different parts. You had the hood people. You had the people who were facilitating in corporate world. You had the people who were middle class. You had everybody trying to facilitate a process where they were all trying to come together, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't.
First of all, I'm very thankful and grateful that I was able to be welcomed into that space of what we now call the Soul Food family. As you know, it was originally a movie, and I loved the movie. Mekhi Phifer introduced the world to Lem Van Adams.
Yes, sir.
And it was interesting because most people didn't see it this way, but this is what the truth. Lem was actually from New York. He ended up in Chicago because of Bird,
Mm.
but he was a New York cat. So for me to be involved with a television series like Soul Food that speaks to the Black diaspora um, 20 years later and speaks to the world about what goes on in the hearts and minds of people of color is something that almost renders me speechless, because I don't think that there are truly any words that can express the amount of gratitude that I have for being chosen as the person who would convey the emotions and the words and the actions of Len Van Adams. I certainly didn't know it was going to happen. And then, of course, it was my transition into acting from choreography that Soul Food was as well. So it was a very expansive time for me that was happening during the 2000s. You know, we talked about this the other day. We're in Forbes magazine right now. And one of the quotes that I said was, while the world thought they were going to be disconnected, right, in Y2K, we were actually connecting the world through soul food. And so I just have so much gratitude, thanks, and respect for all of those people who helped create that vision.
Not only did you create that lane along with the cast, what the other part of a lot of people don't understand is y'all brought back a family dynamic. Y'all brought back what a family should be. You know, good, bad, and indifferent, arguing, fussing, and fighting. You know, when it came to a Sunday, you sat down together, put all those differences aside, and you ate food, you broke bread. You know, y'all can be mad afterwards, but right at that moment, you shared your blessings, you shared, you know, your moments together as a family, and loved each other through whatever emotions or things that were happening in that actual place. And
Absolutely.
y'all brought that back, and that was very, very special because at the time, you know, a lot of families weren't together, but a lot of people would write, and if I'm, you know, I read some of the quotes from the people like y'all brought that family dynamic back.
Well, I think it's important. I mean, we see how important it is now during this whole situation we're dealing with COVID, right? Or quarantine, whatever you want to call it, Corona. Um, it's the family dynamic is incredibly important. I mean, who do you have to lean on? You know, if not family? Who do you have to communicate with, if not family? Who do you have to support, if not family? And so the family infrastructure, you know, as we know, is incredibly important. And I think acutely seen now. There are people, grown men and women, who have moved back into the household of their parents because they can't support themselves, right? The parents were the ones who bought the houses, and you know, so they own their homes, and now the children, 30, 40 years old, are moving back in with the parents. So the family infrastructure is incredibly strong. And if you are smart enough to maintain that balance and to grow that balance, then you'll probably be dealing and living with the fruits of that as well, which is complete and total connection and purpose.
Now I'm going to tout on this young man sitting here because of the fact that a lot of y'all don't understand. I could have sworn my man was Jamaican or something when I first saw him on TV because he got like 55 jobs and I just need one. I just need one. Leave a job for a brother, please. Not only is he an actor, he's a choreographer, an entrepreneur, he's an author, he's a motivational speaker, he's a poet, and I can go on with, and I'm just scratching the surface of what he's done in the industry itself. You know, speaking to his greatness is my pleasure, my honor, because of the fact that you can't help but talk about someone who's doing something great in the world. You know, too many times we look for the wrong things and don't look at the person and try to expound on the greatness that they put forth, but always looking for something negative to tear them down. And I can't find that in you because, like I said, I don't know who touched you. I know who touched you, God.
That's right.
But you know, with that being said, you know, if y'all haven't noticed the plaques behind him, those are for when he was a choreographer and receiving accolades as, you know, being a part of the incredible groups that were out there. You know, helping them to learn different movements and styles because of the fact that he was a choreographer. Um, you know, and I can go with the names. I can go with a list of names. J Lo being one of them. You being with the Backstreet Boys.
No, 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 never Backstreet Boys.
Sorry.
And that's not your fault. It's okay. People make that mistake all the time. I would never take the credit away from other choreographers who did that work. But you know, the people that I worked with in sync, Christina Aguilera, J Lo, Britney Spears, Michael Jackson, Prince, Vanessa Williams, the former Miss America, George Michael, High Five, SWV, CNC Music Factory. I mean, there's just so many. Enrique Iglesias, Deborah Cox, you know, Drew Hill. I mean, there's just so many people that
Hold
I've
up. He
worked with.
also danced on what? Soul Train.
I did.
Also, listen,
I did. I think
this
twice, maybe twice.
this young man has touched the world with those movements that you saw NSYNC doing, those movements that you saw J Lo doing, those movements that you saw Christina Aguilera, those movements that you saw Mr. Iglesias. These are people that he put their movements out there. So when y'all were cheering for those dance, those breakdowns, as they say, in that moment, you were looking at him. And that's an incredible feat in and of itself.
And that's all
Um,
good. That history is there. It's been there. It's there, left there on YouTube and so many other places for people to see and research for themselves. It's on my website. But a lot of what I think is going on now, people ask, excuse me, apple juice. People ask me, um, you know, what goes through my head. And what goes through my head is, what can I create now? What can I do now? How can I give now? What can I develop now? How can I participate in the world now? What do I have to offer to the world now? And that's really what's important to me. All of that stuff is historical, it's done. I let people debate over, you know, that work. But history speaks for itself.
Facts. And then coming into most recent, you're an author. Tell them the name of the books that you currently have out, that they
The,
can still purchase at this moment.
Absolutely. Right now, Intimate Thoughts and the Spirit of Change is the very first book that I wrote, Intimate Thoughts and the Spirit of Change. The second book is called Ain't That the Truth? Acknowledge, Admit, Invite Truth into Your Life. The third book was called Pregnant with Thought. I think, therefore I am. And the last but not least, so far, is Life's Teachable Moments. And those books are available, to the public through my website, darrinhenson.com. And the reason that I wrote those books was because there was a lot of stuff coming out of me. And I meet people all the time, all over, and people tend to want to talk but if you have one person stand in front of you to the left and the other one to the right, and they both want to tell you their life story, that takes time. And so I listen to people and communicate with them as much as that I can. But what I've learned is that people are really looking for assistance. They're looking for assistance how to grow economically, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And so that's what started me writing books. I wanted to help people. I wanted to assist people so they could help themselves. And so I put my journey down in my books and everything that I've learned, all the people that I learned from. And that I thought that was important because it was so many cultural and diverse experiences and people that I had met. I put it in my books in different ways so I would be able to assist other people. So it was just about me living my life. And the more I live, the more that I learn, because the more I go through. So we go through it to grow through it, to glow through it. And once I found that that was just a process of life, I stopped judging it in a negative way. If you go to the seesaw and you look for balance, you won't have fun. Seesaws go up and down, and that's where the fun is. So for me, it's about the growth process, and it's about the process itself that becomes the fun. It becomes the juice of life, you know?
Um, Not only did you uh, philosophically put together something that speaks to human nature, that speaks to the spirit, that speaks to growth, that speaks to learning and telling someone's truth, and sometimes even speaking your own truth
Mhm.
can help you to elevate past where you are, because people have a tendency sometimes to hold on to their truth, expound on somebody else's, but don't want people to know what it is about them, either that makes them different, or that can ultimately show a person who they really are, and live in that moment to move forward in life. Um, when I look at you, not only do I see, I think of people like Nietzsche, and I think about, Socrates, and I think about, and I'm only naming some of the Greek people that I know, but I know there are some, uh, from our ancestral roots, there are our own poets and different people who speak volumes. And when I see you, that's what I see. I see, you know, Buddha. I see a shining light. I see a spirit that is different than that of many people who are in your industry. Because sometimes when I meet people in your industry, woo,
Yeah,
um,
man. It's a lot. It's look, I'm gonna speak to all those people right now who are on with us, and those people who will watch this later, and I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. It's a lot of cats out here that it's fake. It's a lot of cats that's faking it because they think, you know, fake it till you make it. Well, if you fake now, then you developing fakeness. You
mm,
know, it's like Puffy said. He created that word bitch assness, right? It's like if you fake, how do you develop real? You know what I'm saying?
right,
I don't worry about if somebody likes me or if somebody
right,
dislikes me. You know, to
right.
me, those are both imposters. You know, when you give somebody too much accolade, that's an imposter, right? You get drunk off your own Kool-Aid, or if somebody dislikes you too much and you worry about what they have to say, that's an imposter. Why you worry about what somebody else has to say? So I don't do that. You know, I tell people all the time that, you know, I mean, for those people who care to ask, it's like, well, how did you do that? I did it by paying attention to what was important to me. I paid attention to what I felt. I paid attention to the information I wanted to communicate, not what somebody else was doing. It's like if I was a rapper, I wouldn't care what somebody else was talking about. I don't care. You know, when I was a dancer, I didn't watch other people's music videos because I didn't want to dance like them. I didn't want to watch somebody else so much that my stuff started looking like this. I never watched other people's stuff. I
Mm,
just didn't. I didn't care. And so that's the same way as an actor. You know, most people want to be actors. They don't study acting. You know, they want to get on screen, but they don't want to read a book. They think, you know, you could just say some words and end up on screen. To whom much is given, much is required. What you do in the dark comes to the light. And what that simply means is what you do when you're alone in the privacy of your own home ultimately over the years will expand to show you if you were working or not, period. So I'm not here to impress anybody. I don't care about impressing people. I don't care about what people are saying about me. Again, positive or negative. If they're saying positive things, I reciprocate it. I give thanks to that. But I'm not sitting down worrying about what somebody says because of social media right now. I'm I'm activated by the energy of Most High. I'm using what I have right now to, as Paulo Coelho would say, Will Smith talked about a book called The Alchemist, right? And he talked about Paulo Coelho. And if you read that book, Paulo Coelho talks about your own personal legend. That's what I'm doing. Before people knew me, I was doing what I was doing. You
right.
see? So they wouldn't know me unless I was doing what I was doing. They wouldn't know me unless I was practicing my gifts, practicing my dancing, practicing my speech, practicing, you know, and you sit here and you talk about, I'm a Jamaican, right? So some people have a better
Yes,
Jamaican accent. Some people have a
yes.
less accent. You know what I mean?
All
So
right.
you can't expect somebody who's talking about fuckery all the time to understand
Yes.
what you're going to do, right?
All right.
So, you know what I mean? So I play with the accents and many different accents, you know, and you know, one day, you know, you know, playing a Jamaican dude or starting to talk like a lot of people, you know, when it's time,
All right then.
they talk about how British people they get a lot more money, right? Because they're British, because supposedly like acting, right? It's supposed to be a lot more, there's a lot more awareness coming from brothers who are British. So, you know, I started to think about it and I was like, man, you know what I'm talking about? It's not really that way. So I practice. And so you get better at what you're doing when you practice. And I know that because I've watched my students. You know, I have acting students who pay me as a coach to help them. I don't think that I'm just this guy on TV shows and films and plays. I want to see people come up after me the same way dancers came up after me do what they do. That's the blessing of doing what you do. Each one teach one, then you can reach one. It's not all about me. You know what I'm saying? If I wasn't doing what I was doing, what would I be doing? So I ask myself that all the time. If I wasn't doing what I was doing, what would I be doing? And I don't know. And that scares me. So I don't think about what I'm not doing. I think about what I am doing and what I want to do. And I think if people focused on that more and stop criticizing other people, if people focused on that more, they would be creating. And when you're in creative mode, that means you're allowing God to work through you. And when God's working through you, the possibilities are endless what comes out.
I tell people this all the time. You can't build a house with the wrong materials. People think that if you have the design of a house, but not the actual pieces that make the house, that it'll stand. No, it
That's
will
right.
fall.
That's right.
A lot of people don't understand that materials are things that you need in order to pour foundation, in
That's
order to
right.
set the actual structure together, to put those girders together that hold the house, that make it what it's supposed to be. And if you don't do that, if it falls, you can't wonder why. You have to go, I know what I did wrong.
Or the mathematics supporting what you're trying to build.
Well,
Or the mathematics supporting what you're
come
trying
on
to
now.
build. And
Come on,
so
brother.
if the math doesn't add up, then what you are building is going to crumble. And so, you know, it's
You know I know.
it's you know, it's so if it's not mathematically correct, it can't stand. And so for those people, you know, it's like a saying, the teacher appears when the student is ready. And that's
Mm,
life. That's life. And so whatever you seek in life is also looking for you. Whatever you're looking for is also looking for you, because the law is perfect. It's the law of attraction, right? And it's the law of mentalism at work. So what are you focused on? And so, you know, these days, being in this situation, you know, are you building? You know, I ask people, so you building with a good seed, or is your seed GMO? You know,
mm.
is it a good seed or is it a GMO? Is it organic or GMO? You know, and people like, what do you mean? And I'm like, is it something that's going to fortify your body and grow you, or is it breaking you down? And so, are your thoughts building you up or breaking you down? Forget about somebody else's thoughts. Are your thoughts building you up or breaking you down? And, you know, when it comes to this entertainment industry, when it comes to the people who are on the other side, I call them the viewers of life. The people who watch TV, the people who watch movies, the people who sit on the sidelines viewing. Nah, you got to get in the game. You got to get in the game. If you want your life to change dramatically, you got to take dramatic action. If you want your life to change in a small way, take small action. If you want your life to change in a big way, take big action. If you want your life to change, then you must change. We've been hearing people only respect people who they think they know about, right? So you could take somebody like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, Beyonce. Clearly, we know that they have great amount of success.
Right.
So the whole world focuses on them, nothing else. And life is happening around us every day. There are people who are giving. There are people who are building. There are people who are helping other people build and create. They call them the behind the scenes people. It's
That's
like when
right.
you watch a TV show. Yeah, you're watching the TV show. But do you know how many people behind the scenes that it took to make those actors shine?
That's right.
The grips,
Right.
the lighting,
Right.
the focus puller, the
Right.
DP, the
Right.
craft service person,
Right.
the person that's in the back computing all the money that it's costing to make those episodes, right? I mean, there's so many elements, but we are deletion creatures. We only pay attention to what's right in front of us.
Right.
And if it seems good, we'll praise it. If it doesn't seem to impress us, we throw it away. And those things that don't impress people are the major things that can help people grow. Because it's not in times that everything is easy that we grow. It's in times of difficulty that you actually get to expand.
Mm. Now, there's another thing that we're going to speak on. Bold and Beautiful, that's currently in here. This is a young lady that's in here. She says she would love to send you her book because she wrote one, and I had her on as a guest. She's an author as well. Um, you also have an entrepreneurial spirit. You currently have incredible, I say, words of inspiration, words of gratitude, words that speak to the godliness in you. You know, as you said, he uses you as a vessel, and then you you know, sow the seed out to the world. And I think that a lot of people don't understand that you are definitely multifaceted. You are an incredible force within this world. You are a driving spirit. You are, once again, a beacon of light. Tell us about the inspirational shirts and hats and places where people can find. And the funniest thing is, just to let y'all know, he actually takes it out to the post office himself. Just to let y'all know that. I'm just putting that
Well,
out
I don't do it anymore. I was doing that before, but it got so busy I can't do that anymore.
there. Okay.
But you know, we were we were on. I'm actually gonna send this to you so you can pin it. Um,
I'm gonna put it up as soon as you put it up.
um, yeah, just making sure it's right. There we go. So they can click on there and go right to the Instagram page, and actually check out the Instagram page of God's Billboard T-shirts. The reason that I created God's Billboard T-shirts, I'd like to think, first of all, it was inspiration, and it was
Yes.
empathy inspiration.
Yes.
Somebody that I'm very, very close to, her niece committed suicide um, during the quarantine,
God bless.
and I just thank you, and I'll pass that on. I realized, I said, man, there are people who can't take quarantine. There are people who can't take pressures of being locked down. And, you know,
Right.
somebody told me today, I did an interview early this morning, because, you know, I'm doing a lot of interviews right now because of the family business, you know, premiering the second season today. And they said, well, what is it like to feel like you're locked down? And I said, we ain't locked down. People who are in jail are locked down. You could get up and go to the store. You
Mm.
could get up and walk outside. That's locked down. We're not locked down. For some people, during the hardcore part of the quarantine and where we had curfews, they couldn't handle not leaving their house. They couldn't handle the pressures. They couldn't handle the news anymore. And unfortunately, she committed suicide. And it was heavy on my heart. And I was like, I got to do something about this. I got to do something from where I am to assist people. And God Most High put it on my heart. Be a billboard for God. And I thought, well, I can't be everywhere talking, but a t-shirt can. A
Hey.
t-shirt, a t-shirt can be a billboard. So when you're tired of talking, the t-shirt will speak for you.
Mm.
And so I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I started the company, and you know, we went into production, and God's Billboard T-shirts were born. And you know, I've gotten so much support, and people were like, you know, people started challenging. Well, what are you doing? Well, are you asking Jay-Z or Beyonce what they're doing, or are you asking, you know, anybody else? I don't want to keep bringing Beyonce and Jay-Z up because you know we know, you know, their efforts, but what do you mean? What am I doing? Instead of applauding the efforts that Most High put on my heart, I asked them, I know what I'm doing. I created a line that's making people feel better. I didn't create it. Most High created it through me.
Mm.
So your arms are too short to box with God, so you might want to sit down. You know what I'm saying? You're not arguing with me. You trying to argue with spirit now. I got out of the way and just listened and was obedient. and did what I was supposed to do. And you can go on the Instagram page and see how many people were helped by
Amen.
just wearing a shirt that says, I'm more than enough and I approve this message, or I'm already validated by the Most High. I don't need your approval. Or I'm a spiritual warrior. I fight my battles through prayer. I mean, these shirts really, you see people crying, you see people laughing, you see people smiling, you see couples shopping together with pride wearing these shirts. You see babies wearing the shirts, right? Like it's
Right.
even information that's being instilled, you know, to other people through the clothing of a child. And, you know, I've had tons of support, you know, shout out to Anna, who's just really been a major supporter of the line and a voice and a light for the community. And, you know, it's our tribe. We're billboards for God, you know, and we are all becoming a family that's connected through these messages. And, you know, I've taken it upon myself to you know, we just do this. It's something that's a practice now. You know, something I was taught that homeless people need or desire more than anything besides food or socks. And I never thought about that. And so once I learned that, man, we went and just bought tons of socks and we just threw them all inside the trunk of my car. Because we always going somewhere. I always got somewhere to go. So everywhere we go, unfortunately, there are homeless people. So, man, we just pop the trunk, boom, start handing out socks. And so the money that comes from the shirts, we go and buy socks. Then we're going to go and feed the homeless. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it just, the more we get, the more we give. The giver's hands are never empty.
Amen.
So,
All I'm gonna tell y'all is y'all can find him on UMC. There's a show out called Double Cross. If you haven't seen it, I guarantee you will be turned out by this show, because the way they moving, they is hustling hard. The family business, you can definitely check that out as well. He is definitely everywhere. And listen, I went back the other day and I started watching Stump the Yard. And I've watched a bunch of movies and shows with this young man in it. And I want to tell y'all, he's a great inspirational soul who is a beacon of light that shines his light out to the world. Take inspiration, take note, and listen to some of the greatness that comes from him, because I guarantee you he'll definitely guide you in the right path. This is the one and only Darrin D. Henson. Unfortunately, I have to go now because Mr. Paul Anthony from Full Force is in here.
tell Paul I said, what's up, man? That's my man. You know, I used to choreograph for Lisa. And shout out to the whole Full Force family. Love and light, blessings and health to everyone. I just want to say thank you, man. I'm just a cat from the Bronx in New York, just living his life, man. So, you know, if you believe in what I'm doing, continue to support. Please follow the Gods.Billboard t-shirts page. Order your shirt. We ship daily.
You got a
And
6X in there?
say it again.
You got a 6X in there?
Nah, we ain't got 6X, brother. We just started.
Man down.
We just started doing double X shirts. You know what I'm saying? We got medium, large, extra large. We doing double X now. But like I said, the more we grow, the bigger we'll get. The bigger everything will get. You know,
Facts.
because we know we gotta please everybody.
Facts.
So please keep supporting the line. You know what I mean?
Always.
The more we do, the more we could do. And family business on BET Plus right now. Stream it live. BET Plus second season. BET Plus Family Business second season, and also the highest rated show on UMC, Double Cross. Shout out to them Gibsons. I love y'all to life. I got 2 fire shows right now. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep living my purpose that God put me on this earth to do. And you know, it's better to join them than try to beat them. Because if y'all trying to box with me, y'all ain't. Y'all boxing with God. And I think your arms are too short. I give thanks to the Most High. I love you, my brother. I love you to life.
Love you too, brother.
You already know. keep traveling safe, keep traveling
Yep.
well, keep traveling in light. And, I love y'all. Thank you so much for supporting me. Y'all give me strength. You know what I'm saying? For all of those people that are with me, stay strong, tribe up, family up, keep strong. God bless y'all. Stay safe.
Hey, all right. That was the one and only Darrin D. Henson, incredible brother. And I'm definitely going to bring in